Hello and welcome to the Louise Elizabeth Podcast, formerly known as the Happy Lifestyles Podcast. Head over to episode 35 if you would love to learn more about the rebrand. This space is a space for me to talk about anything relating to holistic health living, mind, body, lifestyle, spirit, business, and so much more. In my opinion, health is a whole lifestyle, not just one thing that we work on. I will be getting transparent with you, sharing information that I have learned that has supported me and things that I'm currently learning and working on myself. Living a happy and holistic life has changed my world, and I hope to inspire you to do the same or give you the tools and resources that you can take away into your own life. I am a 620-hour registered yoga teacher. I am a registered holistic nutritionist and a professional network marketer in the wellness industry. Thank you for being here. Let's get started with today's episode. Hello, everybody. I am so excited. I've got Unique here, who's quite unique, and she's so lovely, and I'm so excited to have her here with you. We connected on Instagram, I don't know, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe. I feel like it's been a while. I don't know. Time kind of just fizzles away, and I absolutely love everything that you put out. You're such a positive, beautiful, bright light in the world, and I think it was probably about 6 or 7 months ago now. It feels like, I don't know, again, lifetime ago, where we did a live together on your Instagram where you were doing a beautiful series of just like inspiring people, giving value, really supporting the community, and it was such a fun, like, we had, what did we do, like 15 minutes, and I was like, oh my God, I want to speak for 4 hours. And then we tried to do a podcast. Life was crazy, and then it just didn't quite work out and line up, but here we are, and I'm so excited about it because you're such a lovely soul and you have so much value to add to the world. So Unique, let everybody know a little bit about you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that beautiful intro. And hello, everyone. And you are a beautiful soul as well, too. As you know, I used your voice on one of my Instagram reels one time. I'm like, yes, honey, yes. Keep sending all these positive vibrations out here in the universe. And I'm so happy that we've been able to connect. So hello, everyone. So, so we're here today, and I guess to talk about a little bit of self-care and self-love.
Yeah.
And my name is Unique, and that is my real name. I do have a podcast called Becoming Unique, and Becoming Unique is not just my journey, it's all of our journeys. But with naming the podcast Becoming Unique and my whole platform Becoming Unique at this point, I was going through a journey a few years ago of just becoming myself. And 5 years ago, I can say I was not authentically myself because I was a person that was, giving to everyone else around me, thinking that's what, love was. I thought love was dropping everything about me to attend to someone else.
Yeah.
I attend to my children, attend to my husband, but yet neglecting myself along the whole way.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned that because it's like, especially moms, like women are quite guilty of giving, not guilty, but notorious for giving. That is that feminine energy, that feminine side is to give, to nurture, to love. And especially moms are even more notorious for give, pour from the empty cup and constantly giving to their children, their husbands, their communities, which has an element of beauty to it, but something that, because I have a lot of clients that are moms, especially moms with young babies, just like for my age and my community. And I always say to them, like, you have to fill up your cup. Yeah, but Louise, you don't understand. You don't have babies. Yeah, you're right. You know what? I don't have babies. However, my question for you is like, what picture are you painting for your children, that you put everybody else's needs first or your needs first, right? And I love that you said that. So what was the light bulb moment for you where you're like, okay, something needs to change here?
I don't think I necessarily had a light bulb moment, but before I jump into that, I just wanted to give one piece of advice for the young moms out there. Be careful, because you are setting the narrative for your future.
Yeah.
Because by me spoiling my children, giving them everything they wanted, allowing them to talk to me any way they wanted to, and just stopping everything for them. Now that they're older in college and stuff, now it's like, what do you mean you can't do this for me? The narrative was I was always available. I was always there. So now that I am putting boundaries up for myself through self-care and self-love, now it's hard for the people that have been there with the old me to understand the new me. So I just want to put that warning label on it, because it's creating a narrative for everyone around you, your husband, your children, everyone. They think this is the way you're supposed to act.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And that goes even for people without moms, right? Like, or non-moms as well. If you just always say yes to everybody, then all of a sudden you start saying no. People are like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you being such a bitch? Why are you being so selfish? What do you mean? Why am I being so selfish? I need to take 10 minutes to sit and meditate in silence. And if you can't respect that boundary, maybe we need to have a conversation about this relationship, Like, it's just boundaries, right? And if you don't put those boundaries up, then that's just, people know that way. And then when you do put the boundaries up, it hits them hard and they're like, whoa. So yeah, I think that's beautiful advice. I love that.
Be very mindful of that. But yeah, there wasn't an actual light bulb moment for me. The last podcast I put out on my podcast, I was introducing I was just talking about my journey a little bit, and I said that me signing a gym contract 5 years ago, I didn't know it was going to change my life.
Yeah.
Because, and I have to give credit to a friend that I had at that time. Because it was a very expensive gym. It was Equinox. I don't know if you know Equinox.
I don't know.
But, yeah, so it's like a bougie, expensive gym in New York City. Well, they have it in major cities like LA, New York, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like an $80 gym membership. It was like a $300. So of course, this was something I had to put on the table. I went for they gave me a week pass, so I went there, and then it was like the towels they had towels in the refrigerator with eucalyptus oil in them.
Amazing.
So when you sit on the treadmill, let me get my eucalyptus towel. So this is how bougie it was. So of course I'm like, oh my goodness, I love this gym. It was such a great experience. It gave me a whole week to experience it. What do I do? I'm talking to a friend, and she was like, girl, do it. I was like, no, I can't. I can't spend this amount of money on a gym and so on. And so she said, girl, you do nothing for yourself. You don't drink. You don't buy shoes. You have not one vice for yourself. The only thing you do is think about those kids and that husband. There's nothing for you. So she put her foot down on me, so I could say she was a big push to make me do it, because if it was just up to me, I'd be like, oh, that could go towards this after school program, or I could do here, and not put it for myself. So when I joined that gym, the only sole purpose for me joining that gym at that time was to get rid of my big old fat belly. I was definitely at the highest weight at that time in my life 5 years ago. And, I went to the gym for vanity purposes. I was like, okay, I need to just get this weight off of me. And, I didn't lose the belly like I wanted to. I thought I was just going to walk in this gym. And also, I grew up as a skinny child. I was called Skinny Minnie. So now in my 40s, I'm thinking sometimes you still think back to your childhood. I'm supposed to be skinny, So I just thought I was going to go to this gym. This was just my thinking, that I was just going to go to this gym and just lose this weight immediately, not realizing this weight is an accumulation of 20 years.
Yeah.
It's 20 years. So if I gain 2 pounds extra every year in 20 years, you know what I mean? That is 40 extra pounds, if you just lose 2 pounds. So I just thought that this 20 years of slow weight was just going to instantly go away. But I'm so grateful that I didn't get what I wanted, because by me not getting what I wanted, it allowed me to stay on the path of just, learning to make time and space for myself. And with going to the gym, now when I was going to take that 12 o'clock yoga class, there was no negotiation with my time. It wasn't like, it was that 12 o'clock yoga class. If somebody needed me, I'm like, I'm in yoga. But before, if it was 12 o'clock and I wanted to go get a cup of tea or something, oh, I need you. Okay, forget about my tea. Let me go over here and take care of what you need me for.
Yeah.
So I can say the gym, that joining that gym, that was just like the slow process of me learning that it's okay to make time and space for me.
Yeah.
And with that process, and then, with that, with yoga, that was also kind of a spiritual place as well too, and just getting, with every teacher giving you that little nugget of like spiritualness and just talking and just bringing you to a higher vibrational place. That, I didn't know I was going to receive that as well too. So I have to say, when I walked into that contract, I did not know that this journey was going to start. But it, like everything else, it's like one brick at a time.
Yeah.
When you're building a wall, like that's the best thing I got from Will Smith's book at his very beginning story. Like his father had them building a brick wall, and he said that he didn't see him and his brother had to put these bricks up every day, and they couldn't see the wall. They were literally building it from the bottom up.
Yeah.
And then his sister, worry about the wall, just worry about laying this brick perfectly every day.
Yeah.
And that's the advice that I'm taking from him. Like, I'm not worrying about the end result. I'm worrying about every day just applying that brick. And all of a sudden you look back and like, hey, where did that brick wall come from?
Yeah.
Because the work you've been putting in every day with yourself.
Yeah. I love that you literally have, those that are listening can't see, but there's literally a brick wall behind you. Perfect. I love that. Actually, I'm going to take that story and use that as well, because I have a lot of I have my different ways of supporting people, and I'm guilty for it too. It's just like, well, I just want the whole wall, I just want the wall to be done. I just want my goals. I just want this. I just want that. And it really is just one brick at a time. If you can just put that one brick down at a time and perfectly focus on that one brick, then the next brick's going to be perfect, and then you're just going to have this wall that's perfect. I mean, not that anything in life is perfect, but you're just going to have this beautiful, well-built, supported, strong wall. I really love that. Love that. So Unique, after you were like, okay, wow, I can make time for myself. I can set these boundaries. I went to yoga. I got some kind of mindfulness aha, like, whoa, things are clicking in here, kind of here being your mind. Like, where did you kind of evolve into your self-care routine from there?
One of the key parts of my growing as well too, I think, was my voice, my chakra, and it was I took a special yoga class at my gym as well too, and they had like this chakra yoga class, and we were going through all these moves that was supposed to be supporting the chakras, and this was probably like one of my first times of me hearing about chakras. Or resonating with the word chakra. I may have heard it, but it was probably foreign language to me in the past.
Yeah.
And so when we, it was a very emotional class. I remember the woman next to me was just in tears. Like she was like, she was going through some emotional stuff. And then when we got to the throat chakra, it's like we were going through all of the chakras. So when we got to the throat chakra, every pose I was stuck. I couldn't move. There was no energy, I was like, wow, like, why can't I move through these poses? And, and as she's going through these poses, she's talking about, like, what the throat chakra represents. And I was like, I resonate with all of this. So I was like, I think my throat chakra's blocked. And so, I started to go on a journey of like, okay, how do I heal? The first thing is like, oh, I'm going to go buy a crystal. And, but where I can say in the end, for anyone maybe thinking, oh, woo-woo or something like that, where intention goes, energy will flow.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the crystal. Don't worry about all this other stuff.
Yes.
Just worry about putting intention into that area. And, with me starting my podcast, I think that was a huge development in my throat chakra because I had to use my voice. And I grew up in speech therapy, I even say, we may talk about the book at the end, but I just released the book. And at the first page in the book, I say that I grew up, it was speech therapy, and kids would say, why, my pronunciation of words wasn't always the same as others, and kids would say, why do you talk like that?
Why you talk like that? Aww.
Yeah, why your words sound like that? Question, and I remember in high school, a friend couldn't understand something I said, and he said to me, I hope you don't teach your kids how to talk. And these words, even though people say these things all the time, they think they're saying them in jokeful ways, and I don't remember ever running off crying, but what was going on, I was taking all of this information in and subconsciously allowing myself to shut down my throat, shut down my voice. And with doing that also, I may be on Instagram being like, hey, I'm here, guys, but in real life, I wasn't, now I'm learning to speak up. I was always quiet. People wouldn't even know I was in the room. I was quiet. I was a quiet person. And so I think that was also something that I needed to go through within my journey. I needed to put intention on my voice, to grow, because, that space, like, it's, it may be grounding, it may be your heart, it may be, but for me, I think it was definitely my voice. So that needed to be a part of the journey. And I know with our journeys into like self-care and self-love, we just want to get to the end. We want to get the full brick wall, we want to start this stuff, but we also have to recognize, what healing do we have to do within ourselves as well. Yes, you can start all of these programs. Yes, I drink my cup of tea in the morning and I do this and I do this, but at the same time, where do you need to put intention with yourself? Because that's self-care, that's self-love.
Yeah.
So, and actually before the podcast, it was the YouTube. So I did. So before the podcast was the YouTube, and I can say, I may cringe when I look back at this stuff at this point, but I need it so much to just put myself out there and talk.
Yeah, 100%. And that's actually just thinking about that, like with the podcast and social media, Instagram, say what you want about social media, it is a space for people to truly like be themselves, because you can make it where certain people don't even see your stuff. So you could have it where your inner circle of people that maybe aren't the most supportive or aren't feeding the growth, or they say those comments that you're like, that maybe you don't go and cry, but they do land, they do kind of land without you even realizing it. And blessed children, they have no filter, which is something that I love and appreciate. But at the same time, the no filter and just if people constantly say the same thing, you put that into your body somewhere, and it's not woo woo. Like it sounds woo woo for some people, but I love the woo woo, but I also love the science. And there's so many studies, like the what's the book called? The Body Remembers, I think. I'm gonna have to simmer on that because I think I just got that wrong. But trauma sits in your body. You can have something happen to you and not even really realize that it's traumatic, and then you're just like out at the grocery store and you have a breakdown because something happened where your body was just like whah, and it literally goes into fight or flight in the middle of nowhere, and it seems like it comes out of nowhere. Like your thoughts create biochemical reactions in your body. So if you're constantly thinking to yourself, I'm ugly, I'm ugly, I'm ugly, or I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, or I'm not feminine, I'm not this, I'm not that, it lands in your body in different places, right? So it is kind of woo-woo, but it's also not kind of woo-woo, because there is the science that shows that your thoughts create biochemical reactions. So I love that. And what I was going to say with the crystals, because I remember I did the same, you buy all the crystals, or this helps for this, or this helps for that. And then, everybody buys you crystals as well when you do yoga and you're a yogi. They're like, oh, crystals is a safe gift. And I just remember looking at all my crystals and being like, I have so many crystals, I don't even know what they are, what they're for. And I forget who it was, and I was talking to somebody, and they said it is the intention. They're like, look at the crystals, which one calls to you? If you just like look at your crystals, this one, and this one looks extra beautiful to me, and have the intention. So for example, one that I had, when I was serving way back in Lake Louise, like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 years ago, I worked at this restaurant where it's just because of where it was located, we had a lot of highway traffic, so we had a lot of grumpy people. And people that are driving who have kids are grumpy, especially in the summer. And I remember just being like, I cannot let these people affect me. Like, they're just like, I'm going home and I'm mad and I'm this and I'm that. So I had one of my crystals in my apron, and it was supposed to be like a negative energy blocker. And really, what it was for me was just I'd put my hand in my apron and hold it and remind myself to let it pass. It's a them thing, it's not a me thing. And I just needed that reminder, or if it's a bracelet or whatever it is. So, for anybody listening, if you have something you're like, oh, that sounds so woo woo, or crystals, pick an object that just helps to remind you. You know, it takes practice to rewire your brain and to rewire those neurological pathways on how you think and how you react. And a huge self care thing you can do for yourself is to catch your brain in those thoughts that don't serve your purpose. And you can catch yourself with objects. It can be a bracelet, it can be a necklace, it can be a teddy bear, whatever you want. Teddy bears are not overrated when you're older, still.
Yeah.
A journal, there's just so many things you can do to help catch those thoughts that you think are, oh, that they're harmless, they're just thoughts, but thoughts aren't harmless. They do have a rippling effect. They do have power to them. They do have power if you're not aware of them, and if you give them power, if that makes sense. So I love all of that. So what are some of your favorite self-care routine things that you love to do?
Me personally, I love stillness. I love quiet, where I just love to just sit in the stillness of my thoughts. So I mean, that may be like a meditation, but I'm not like totally in the meditation, but it really recharges me to just be still, for me personally. And everyone has to do it resonates with them, because like you were saying, maybe it's a teddy bear, maybe it's you have to find what resonates for you. And I mean, this may be going a little bit off topic, but I don't know if you know about the human design. And within the human design, I'm something called a projector. I'm about 20% of the population, where most of the population are generators. They are energy beings. Mm-hmm. And with me, and I had a little reading done. It was so great to get my reading done, because it kind of it confirmed what I was naturally resonating with. Because we live in the society where it's like, go, go, go. Everyone has energy. And I'm a being with less energy. So with being a projector, I'm 20% of the population is projector. I am not energy. I see the energy. So, I can't get into that. The whole it's beautiful and it's deep, but it made me accept. It made me be okay with who I am, because I may be thinking like, I'm supposed to be like that, but yeah, I'm good like this. It's like the person that prefers to stay home and read a book instead of going out to the party. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm that person.
So like, even though it may sound like nothing, it is so much something for me. You just don't know how much I am recharged in the moments of that stillness. Yeah. Opposed to just getting up and being active in some type of ways. That just brings me so much pure inner joy, just to be still.
Yeah. I'm a projector too. I don't know much about human design, but I do find it interesting that I've learned about it, because the same, like, I need my 8 hours of sleep. Like, that is, for me, that is the ultimate self-care. I need my sleep. Like, it's not even a question of like, oh, I can get away with 7 hours or 6 hours. I can do that maybe one night, but then the next night, like, I need to go to bed early. And but that being said, I also love to exercise, and I love to move my body. I do love the busyness, but I just, as a balance of that, I absolutely need that self-care routine. And I didn't even realize it. I only just learned about human design in the last 6 months or something, we'll say. And before that, though, I look back and I reflect before I really had a solid self-care routine, or even just the slow hour morning for me is everything. Excuse me, I understand that's a privilege. I understand that's my lifestyle that lets me have that privilege. But that is everything for me. That hour morning to just read my book, drink my hot coffee, journal, meditate maybe,
Yeah.
it's everything for me. But before I did that, I would just be go 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 go. You know, I'm still a Leo. I've still got that fire in me. I've got that lion, and I'd be go 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 go, and then I would crash, where I just like was just like grumpy with people in my life, or just don't even look at me the wrong way. You know, just all of that. And I am more masculine energy for sure than feminine, which is fine. And yeah, I would just crash so hard. But now I don't crash. Now I just know, like, I need my sleep. I need my slow routine. I'm very grateful that I have a lifestyle that allows that. I have a partner who understands, like, if I don't get my sleep, or I don't get my time to read my book, or if I'm just like, you know what, I just need to be left alone and he just leaves me alone, like, I'm very grateful again for that, and I understand that's a privilege to an extent. I'm going to say to an extent, because we can use that as an excuse, be like, well, Louise, that's a privilege of yours. I don't have that privilege. I don't fully agree with that. I think that we still have more control in our lives than some people maybe are willing to admit out loud. Everybody can find 10 minutes in their day. Everybody can find 10 minutes in their day. They can put their phone away. They can go lock themselves in the bathroom for 10 minutes. You know, if you say, I gotta go take a number two, and you go to the bathroom for 10 minutes, nobody's gonna bother you. Nobody has to know that
Yeah.
you're not in there to go number two, and you're in there to maybe sit and meditate on the toilet. And I get that that's not like this beautiful little room with your crystals and your burning incense. But I actually, what I like to say for meditation is mindfulness, paying attention. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I was actively teaching before we hit the road, is I would say to people, like, this isn't a meditation practice. This is a paying attention practice. This is noticing your thoughts. So you can go and sit in the bathroom and take 10 minutes to notice your thoughts. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can take 5
Yes.
minutes. You can take 2 minutes. So I get the statement, but then when does it become an excuse? Of, oh, well, that person has that privilege. Do they, though? Did they create that privilege? Is it given to them? You know, like, it's that's a double-edged sword, and maybe I'll get in trouble for saying that in 2022, who knows, but I'm happy to just say what's on my mind, as per always.
I think this is when you can practice mindfulness, to be mindful. Oh, I have a family of four, and I have young children at home. You're mindful of it. Now, how can I, plan this out? Do I wake up at 4 a.m. so I can have my quiet moment with tea and so on? And that's a part of my quiet moment. I have a cup of tea. I'm just sitting there. I'm just in my stillness. But, being mindful, where can you cut these moments into your life? Like you
Yeah,
said, being mindful that you can turn the phone off for 10 minutes and not be on Instagram, and create the space for yourself. Especially, just being mindful of your body and
yeah,
understanding what do you need to do for your body to thrive. And with the projector, the advice that I got from my reading is like, a projector has to prepare for bed. Like, you have to go home and unwind. When you hear that, you have to go where and unwind to prepare yourself to chill. Where a generator, they just need to crash. They're crashing. Like, they need to burn that energy out and just crash, and that's okay for them, and they will be recharged in the morning. But for us, a projector is a little bit different, and that's, again, being mindful of your body and what works for your body. Even I was on vacation last week, my daughter, she understood me. She said, you're gonna need like a week to recover, because she understood. I need, like, I'm not gonna run the streets. I'm just gonna be home. I'm gonna be chilling, because she understood, like, oh, we can't make plans when we get back, because you're gonna be drained.
yeah. I love that. That's so sweet.
She,
Oh, that is so sweet. I love that. And I agree. And, like, for everybody listening, self care doesn't, like, if you hear self care and you're like, that's a privilege, I don't have that, you can have that. And, I know Unique said 4 a.m., and I'm sure there's some mamas like, but like that, I talk to moms that are like, well, when my kids go to bed is my time. I get that. I totally get that. What are you doing with that time is my question. Are you on social media? Are you watching Netflix? Are you binge watching Netflix? I literally just recorded the sleep portion of my women's hormones course and talking about that. And my question is always, at what cost? Okay, cool, I get it. Maybe sometimes watching a movie is just so nice. But like, if it's 8 p.m. and you're starting a 2.5 hour movie, do you think that's more useful than just being like, you know what, maybe tonight's not movie night? It's just asking the right questions. And that is something that I personally has really helped me with my self-care routine and just even how I show up in life as a person is asking questions. Does this serve my purpose? Does this? I read a really amazing book. Actually, I think I listened to the audiobook for it. It's John Maxwell, and it's called How Leaders Think, I'm pretty sure. And he says leaders think in questions. And maybe you hear that and you're like, I'm not a leader. But if you're a mom of your household, you're a leader. You're a leader of your babies. If you don't have babies, like, you are the leader of your life. Whatever you want to call it, like, you are the leader. So, you can ask those questions. You can start asking in questions. Does this serve my purpose? Is this going to energize me? Is this going to drain me? Is this going to make me feel better? Is this going to make me feel worse? Like, ask the questions, because at the end of the day, I believe we all intuitively know the answers. We all know inside what we need. You just have to ask those questions and trust that whatever comes up is the right answer. That's the big one, is trusting that you have the right answer. So, Unique, I could sit here and talk to you for 14 hours, I think, on this topic, but I would really love to talk about your book. So you just wrote a book. I would love to know why you decided to write it and share with us exactly what it's about. I love the pictures that you sent me about it. It looks amazing, because I love that it's a workbook, because people have to take action.
Yes, it's called Your Guide to Bringing More Acts of Self-Care.
Love
And
it.
and I put workbook, and I say it in the book. It's technically called a workbook because you have to put the work in.
Yes.
And I make a subtitle saying you hold the key to your life's journey with a key, because everyone's life is different. So what may work for me may be different for what works for you, and you have to realize the key. You hold the key. My key to my house, it opens my door, and your key to your house opens your door. I can't take my key and try to open up your door. So just be mindful that you hold the key to your life's journey. So don't look at my journey and think that that's supposed to be your journey.
Mm-hmm.
So the book is just basically, just quickly, it's a 12 chapter book, 12-week book. So it's a small but mighty book. It's just under 100 pages, but it's a program for you to every week you can apply a new self-care action. And it's not self-care talking about go get a manicure or pedicure. It's self-care where you can take your resources of what you have and make it happen for you. Mm. So, and I kind of like, I don't make it like school, but I say the first chapter, the first week, I'm like, this is your prepare week. This is the week that, because I asked you to get a journal, because I want you to have a journal side by side with this book. It's going to be the partner with your book, and put intention into buying your journal. Put in the same intention as you would do with buying a gift. Like, do you like the way the pages turn? What's resonating with you about the cover of it? This is going to be your right hand man. Don't just pick up anything for the sake of it. This is when self-care and self-love starts. Put intention into something that you're getting for yourself. And then and then I talk about words to embody. But then with week 2, we get into, which is chapter 2, we get into affirmations and understanding the power of I am. I am has so much power behind it, because the words that follow it starts to become your narrative. So if you are constantly putting, negative words behind it, I am not smart enough for that. I'm not small enough to wear that dress. What do you want your narrative to be?
Yes.
I am beautiful just the way I am. I am smart enough for that job, or whatever it may be. Be mindful of I am. So then every day, for 7 days, because, then I have different affirmations, and you're repeating the affirmations. And at the end of every day, you have a different question every day that you will want to journal about. Are these affirmations resonate? What was the affirmation you chose for yourself at the end of the 7 days? Then, you write your own, and then it kind of keeps going on. Like the next week is journaling, and then the next week is small acts of I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm getting called. Small acts of like self-care, like change up the energy by taking a new route to work today, or taking a new route to school, or wherever you may be going. We seem to be creatures of habit, so let's not go the same route that we go every day. Change it up. You never know what you may the new route. Oh, I never knew there was a cafe here. Oh, it's a yoga studio. Maybe I want to take a class here, and so on. And we keep going through different, like, self-caring actions. Self-caring actions for the next 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, so it just kind of goes in that pattern. And then I ask that every week that we won't be talking about the previous week, but be mindful to try to see how you can keep these new tools that you're learning or getting refreshers on into the next week. So when we go into journaling, you don't have to say your affirmations every day, but be mindful. Do I want to say them in my morning routine, or do I want to say them when I'm not feeling good about myself? I want to say some high vibrational words to myself. Start to create, a self-care system that works for you.
Yeah, I love that. And, I can't wait to check this out. I love that it's actionable things, right? Like, yes, you can read the book, and the books are handy for information and changing your mind and whatever it is, or opening up your perspective. But having something that people can actually take action on, and, journaling doesn't need to be, sometimes I journal and I'm like, wow, that's like 30 minutes. And that's where I know it was a download. But when I first started journaling, it was like fingernails on a chalkboard for me. I was like, what do I write? Like, I don't even know what to write, But the power of journaling, or the power of affirmations, and again, I understand not everything's for everybody, but when you can start writing things, you can start to realize where your thoughts are at. And for me, at the end of the day, like, honest opinion, I think if you can take care of your mind, the rest sorts itself out. If you can take care of what's going on in your head, the negative thoughts, the positive thoughts, the excuses, the story, you get to write the story of your life. And so many people don't even realize that. Like, you get to change the perspective. You're those lenses of how you look at the world. You can put on different lenses if you want. And that can be as simple as starting to write out what you want that lens to be, what you want that narrative to be. It's easy. And I've been there where you're just like, oh, like, the world is out to get me, or everything's against me, or what's wrong with me, or I have the worst luck, or, oh, like my sister's pretty guilty for this one. Oh, it's just my luck. Oh, it's just my luck. It's just my luck. And is it just your luck, or is that what you're creating by literally thinking those things, or deciding that's how it is, and you can make the decision to change. So I love that. I love your book, and I think it's beautiful. So if you want to share with everybody where they can find your book, where they can find your podcast, where they can find you, I'll obviously link everything in the notes of this episode, but let everybody know where they can connect with you.
Thank you. The book is called Your Guide to Bringing More Acts of Self-Care. You can find it right on Amazon as of today. On Amazon, hopefully in the future it'll be in Barnes and Nobles and all the other outlets, and it will be my website as well too, which is becomingunique.com in a couple of weeks. And with my website, the perk with buying it from my website, I will send some tea with the book. So I also have some tea. It's like affirmation tea. So every tea has like an affirmation. So I'm love, I'm calming, I'm grounded. So I just wanted to share those high vibrational thoughts as you're sipping on your tea, to be reminded to say these affirmations, like, whatever tea you get, or whatever.
I love that.
That would be the perk behind if you do get it from the website. But otherwise, Amazon, you'll have it in 2 days.
Yeah.
Podcast is called Becoming Unique, and as it's my name, but it's all about journeys. It's just not my journey. And Instagram, Becoming Unique, that's where I'm most active. I'm trying to get active on some the other platforms, but I keep seeming to just stay on Instagram. I'm like, how do I do a TikTok?
Oh, yeah. The rest comes with practice, but yeah, stick at what you're good at, and then once that feels like second nature, then you can build on that. But you can add a brick to your social media presence. I love all of that. What was I going to say? Yes, Unique also makes teas, pours love into these beautiful teas that you can have. And you've done are you still doing farmers markets as well, or?
Well, yeah, I was doing the flea markets, farmers markets. For the fall, I didn't do anything for the summer because I was like, hot tea, like, in the hot summer. And then I was like, I'll come back in the fall. For the fall, I said maybe I'll do 2 dates, to probably around Christmas and probably like just mid-fall. I think, with me doing the farmers markets and flea markets, it was just really more about me just getting the word around, because unique and just acts of self-care. And I have on my sign, self-care, self-love tea,
Love it.
that's really resonating. I think people prefer for me to just say herbal tea, what can heal this and what can heal that. And I was changing, like my mother came to me to the first farmers market. I was kind of giving her like a training program. I was like, it's not, people may ask for what's healing. It's not about what these herbs are about. It's about, the vibration of the affirmations and pouring the intention into the words that we say to ourselves. And, and that's the focus I really want. That's the medicine. The medicine is the words that we're pouring into ourselves. Yeah. And being mindful of the affirmations and the words that we say to ourselves. So, yeah.
Mom!
I was saying, make sure it's the focus. What's going to make me skinny? What's going to take away my belly fat? And that's, and that's not the energy I want to pour into it. Things may tool you, but, it's more than just drinking a tea to remove belly fat.
I agree. Awesome. Well, thank you, Unique. Thank you for everybody for tuning in, and have a beautiful day wherever you are in this world. Thank you for listening, tuning in. I hope you gained some sort of value. Please, if you could take a couple minutes of your precious time to either leave a review or share on your socials, tag I am Louise Elizabeth, and help me spread the word of holistic health living to the entire world. Maybe that's a big dream, maybe not, but thanks again, and have a beautiful day wherever you are in this beautiful and incredible world of ours.